Good evening and welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the NGS Season 11. We are here. It has finally arrived. This is my first cast of the NGS season. My name is Isaacs. I love and am excited that we are here in the NGS, kicking off week 1 in Season 11 with two teams that are ready to bring it. I have been casting for a couple seasons. I started casting NGS last season, and I've been casting some other leagues in the meantime. And I've been able to cast Bronze 6 a few times. I really like what I've seen from them against some of the teams that they have had to play. They've played some really tough opponents, and they look pretty strong in a lot of those showings. Vendetta, I don't know much about. I know a couple of their players, but I haven't had the opportunity to see them before. So I am really excited to see both of these teams in action. This is the Nexus division. This is the third highest division that is offered in the NGS. Storm League being the top of that, and then Heroic being above that. Or no, wait, did they create a new one this time? Let me go double check that. I'm pretty sure with this new season, the Nexus division, this is the new division that they have created. I think it's like there was a little bit of a gap between the two divisions and between the Storm or between the Heroic and A. Yeah, between Heroic and A. So Storm is the top. The Heroic is the next one down, and then now they've created this nexus between Heroic and A. That that is where we are today. So it's kind of that there was a little bit of difficulty placing people because like there's that high master level and then the like high diamond and the low master, and they didn't know where to put the low master. Like they'd either beat the high diamonds or struggle against the really high master. So they kind of made this Nexus division this season because they've had so many teams, and it's so awesome to see all of these teams uh, signing up for this. I think there's like 145 teams that we've got signed up for the NGS this season. My team's in it as well. It's going to be a rocking season. I'm excited for it. But we are going to worry about that at another time tonight. Let's focus on the match that we got coming up tonight between Bronze 6 and Vendetta. And let's get us over to the map screen real quick so we can see what happened prior to the game. So tonight, Bronze 6 ended up having to play with a sub. They are using an off-roster sub for the match tonight because of the power outages that are going on in Texas. It seems to be impacting a lot of games. My match last night was postponed due to the power outages that were going on. My team almost had to use the sub. Another team that we played against had to utilize the sub. So there's subs all over the woodwork this week. It's just it is what it is kind of deal. It makes week 1 pretty exciting. But here's the map screen that we got going on. So um, the Bronze 6 team, they're the home team today, so they got to call the coin flip. They won the coin toss and elected to go with first pick. That left Vendetta to start our banning maps and eventually pick the map. So Vendetta banned out Braxis Holdout and Battlefield of Eternity. Bronze 6 in return banned out Curse Hollow and Infernal Shrines, getting rid of some of the bigger maps on this in this pool that we've got so far. And so we're going to see a lot smaller maps coming across in this series. And so Vendetta, with the map choice, elected to go to Dragonshire. It's a 3-lane map. It is a small 3-lane map. It is one of those classic HOTS maps, one of the first ones ever developed. Having those 3 lanes provides a lot of ability for teams to create pressure in the macro game and also force the team fight depending on how they draft and what they want to utilize. Having that strong bruiser in the top lane, able to control that shrine in the top lane. And also bully the wave, whether they want to go with like a hard double soaker to double soak between top and mid and just ignore the shrine and get a strong 4-man in the bot lane to kind of out pressure the other 4-man, or if they elect to utilize like their mage character to rotate between mid and bottom and get a solid 1v1 bruiser like a Sonya or a Rexar, something like that in the top lane that could just bully the opposing team member and maintain control over the shrine in the top lane and play for shrine as well. So it'll be interesting to see what strategies each team decides to bring to a map like this tonight. Dragonshire, often known for the objective not necessarily being critical for a team. It's something that will be a bonus if a team can pick it up, especially if they could pick it up on the backside of a team fight where they have a little bit of time to pressure as a team while the other team is still recovering and respawning. But usually, if you're picking up the dragon and going into a 5v5 scenario, the dragon is usually considered one of those weaker objectives across the maps. You know, every map has their own objective. Dragonshire usually is considered to have one of the weaker ones. It can be burned down fairly quickly, doesn't provide a lot of siege potential, can do some zoning with the Q, and, you know, the knockback potential, but with at this high level of play, I fully expect a lot of these teams to be able to, you know, in the lower levels, we might not see as coordinated play around the dragon, but at this high level, you know, getting a nice cleanse ready for your team when the dragon does decide to charge, baiting the dragon deep into your territory and using cleanse at the last second in order to provide that unstoppable, not allow your ally to be punted, and now the dragon is in deep, baited in behind enemy lines, and is going to be easy to burn down without the rest of the team to support the dragon. So the dragon play is a lot cleaner and a lot more enjoyable to watch up at these higher divisions, seeing these, you know, master and high diamond players utilizing that. We're still waiting. I'm sorry, I'm stalling. I'm just trying to talk about the map for a little bit while we get ready. We are waiting on one person to get in. It looks like they're having some sort of power issue still. We were expecting, we had all five, and then possibly we did lose one due to a power issue. We will see if we're able to get them all in here. They do have 10 minutes um, from the start, or when they finish their map pick and bans, to get everybody into the lobby. So we're just stalling out, waiting for everyone to kind of get in here. But man, I mean, if you guys are fans of the NGS, what an awesome season that we've had. We've had so many casted games already in the first 2 days. I believe, like, we've had over 20 matches already cast in the first 2 days, which is just phenomenal to see the amount of support that the NGS has. And, you know, hopefully we're going to keep that going. I don't remember the exact statistic of casted games that was in season 10, which was a fun season to cast, but I think it was upwards of like 60 or 70% of the total matches had a caster in them, which is great to see the casting support. Great to see that the players enjoy it. I enjoy that. I want to cast as many games as I possibly can. Unfortunately, my team is finishing up playoffs in one league, and we are just starting our NGS season. This is our first NGS season as a team this season. So we're excited to start playing in NGS in addition to me being a caster in NGS for 2 seasons now. Um, and hopefully I'll be able to get a lot. I'll be doing a lot of the late night casts. I'm on the West Coast, so a lot of my casts have to be in the later evening after the kid goes to bed, which that's where I'll usually be picking up a lot of those Division E or East teams. But uh, just said, yeah, usually in the high 60s, low 70s range. Yeah, that's what I heard was from. I think the statistic was last season was, it was like that 60-70%, which is just absolutely awesome to see. You know, we're always aiming to try and beat it. It looks like the first 2 days there was only you count them on one hand between the 2 days on how many games didn't get a caster to pick it up. And you know, there's a lot of games. There's 145 teams, so, you know, that's 70 plus matches per week that are going to be played amongst all of these teams here, which is, again, awesome to see. But just got word that the final member is logging in. There was a little bit of a power issue, but it seems that that is resolved. Everybody is now getting into the lobby. We should be set to go. Thanks for hanging tight, everyone. Sorry for the little bit of a delay. But once both teams are in here, fifth member just joined. So everybody's in the lobby now. We're just waiting to get the all clears, and we will get you into this draft phase, which I am looking forward to. I have no idea if teams have their support, but if you got support for your team, shout out in the chat. I'm always eager to see fan support in the chat. Tell you what, when we did the Division E finals last season, we had like over 100 people watching that stream, and there were people just shouting out left and right for, I think it was Core Bouncers and FC Hong Kong were the two that were going at it. And that was just awesome to see. Sorry, there's a little bit of a delay for the first time it switches over. It should resolve itself. You'll get a black screen just for a second, and then it'll self resolve. Sometimes that happens with the transitions. It's something with OBS I gotta still figure out. Sometimes it happens. It's very rare that it happens, but sometimes it happens. So if you get a black screen, hang on. It'll resolve. You'll get into the draft phase pretty quickly. But here we go into Dragonshire. We do see right off the bat Medivh getting banned out. Medivh, again, one of those picked in the higher divisions just because of the playmaking potential that Medivh can have with those portals, being able to get a team to get to, being able to reposition your team to a back line or get a person who has committed too far out, somebody who's picked off to get them to safety with the protect in the portal. So Medivh is one of those utility players, not necessarily going to put out a ton of damage, but can just devastate a team with the amount of support and utility that he can provide. Chromie, very strong mage right now in the meta. The sands are just debilitating for anybody. She could basically choke off a point, and she's really good on this map because of the amount of close space between the bottom and mid lane that she can really shut off that transition area and catch a mage in rotation. So Chromie getting the ban out here as well. I'm interested to see if we're going to see some Hogger bans potentially, or some of those stronger 1v1 like a Rexar. We do see a Cassie ban out. She is still in a very good spot in the meta, one of the more heavily picked ranged assassin players because of the amount of damage she can put out. So these are all very strong meta bans right now. It doesn't look like there's necessarily any target banding going on. Zul'jin again very strong. So this is completely week one. Not a lot of these teams have a lot of research on each other yet. It's brand new to the season, so they're just going with a safer. Let's get rid of some of these meta heavy meta picks and kind of go with the strategy that we've seen. And we do see first pick Rexar. So they are already Bronze 6 committing to that strong bully presence in the top lane. Rexar able to not only control the point very well, but in addition be able to do that split pushing. But in response, we see another bully himself, Hogger, the Knoll coming in, able to provide just a lot of pressure in that top lane over the point as well with a well-placed passive ability, putting that blocking field. And we do see Mei being picked up as the main tank in that 4-man that's going to be fighting over that bot lane. So good response coming out from the side of Vendetta. Mei is going to, be able to be that front line, that heavy crowd control front line, and provide some picks for Hogger when it comes to that team fight. Hogger's going to be able to just jump straight into that back line. Tychus Varian being picked up, going to be a taunt Varian coming out of Dandy there, and then Tychus being picked up. Tychus, known for the minigun, being able to shred through a lot of these heavy bruisers. We already see two bruisers, or a tank and a bruiser, being picked up from Vendetta themselves. So Tychus, not a bad pick into those. Also able to provide a lot of burst damage if he decides to go into that W build as well. Which, if that is a taunt Varian, they are going to need a little bit of burst damage on top of that to pick a target around the Mei. So we do see the Tychus being picked up. We'll see what mage they decide to pair with it. Something a little heavier on the burst. So maybe we'll see the Orphea. Maybe we'll see a Li Ming. If it's going to be a top variant, make it a little easier to land some of those skill shots. We do see Stukov getting banned out. Able to provide a pool. It's really deadly combo with a taunt variant. Stukov silence just putting puddled right under whatever taunt target that variant selects. And so the Stukov getting banned out. Uther, a good response. In return for Bronze 6, no divine shield from Uther on the target that variant decides to taunt, which is one of the strongest counters for a taunt variant, is give that person, pick that Uther up and give that person that extra invulnerability for whatever target that variant is trying to say, hey, I want this target dead. Lucio and Raynor getting picked up. So Raynor going to be able to provide a lot of that just kind of slow sustained DPS. Won't be able to, do a ton of burst necessarily, especially to the line that we got, and has to play a little careful to the variant. Will be able to knock him back when he sees variant charging in. So he has that. Oh, hang on a second. Somebody, maybe we're getting more power issues. I'll throw us back over to the map screen real quick. I don't know what happened there, but basically what we're gonna do is we're gonna have a redraft once. Oh, yes, power issues. This is the unfortunate side effect of when the United States decides to freeze over. Um, So yeah, we will have a redraft, assuming that everything gets figured out and they're able to get their member back quickly. Um, and it will be selected. Everything will be selected the exact same. The same order, same picks, and everything like that. They will have a little bit of time to. I don't think they locked in, if I remember correctly. I don't think they believe they locked in their fifth pick, so they will be able to select that fifth pick. They did lock in the Falstead right before the power went, or the player disconnected. So we do see a Falstead. The dreaded question during a draft: did I just DC? Yes, you did DC. So we did see the Falstead pick coming through, so that will have to be picked up again. Um, but uh, and so we're getting right back to the lobby. Thankfully, this will go a little quicker the second time through, but they still haven't picked the I believe it was their healer. They haven't picked their healer. They picked Varian, Rexar, and then their DPS was a Falstad and a. Oh gosh, hold on 1 second. Okay, we're getting back in. Back into the draft screen you go. It was a Falstad and a Tychus. So they've already committed to the damage, which if they're going with the Falstad, I fully anticipate this being a Q Falstad, being able to provide that boomerang burst damage on top of the taunted target. But they don't have their healer selected yet, so we'll see what they elect to do. If they elect to go with like an Anduin, getting that light bomb onto the Varian, to help provide even more of that lockdown pressure, or since they did go. I believe it was Vendetta that went Lucio. Yeah, Vendetta did go Lucio, which is an interesting pick into the Varian, due to the fact that Varian can shatter shields at level 13. So when Varian gets online, he will, up to level 13, whatever target he's wanting to burst, if Lucio uses his sound barrier to try and protect that target will lose its shield. So I'm guessing the Lucio is not going to go sound barrier. He's going to go for that unstoppable instead at level 10. Give that target that gets taunted a little more safety, um, and be able to pop that on whoever is decided to be focused out of the variant. But we don't know what healer was necessarily going to come out for Bronze6 here. So they already have the Falstad. They already got global pressure. Are they going to pair it with like a Brightwing and get even more global pressure, and be able to do that? Like we can go bot to top really quickly with the Falstad and the Brightwing. Um, or like I said, are we going to see like that Anduin pairing as well? We did. So again, bands coming out, and it was the Anduin. Okay, so they didn't, and that's what I expected. It was eventually going to be, was that Anduin pick coming out from the side of Bronze6. That just the light bomb is going to be able to provide so much more lockdown for that taunt variant. When we see the Lucio, going to probably go, definitely now probably going to go for that unstoppable rather than the sound barrier. TBD. That's why we play the game, but I like to do all my analysis of the pick and ban phase. But Double Bruiser. Okay, this is getting really, really popular lately. Is going for more of that just really, really beefy frontline. The one thing I don't like about it is they're doing it into a Tychus. If the Tychus was banned out, I would really love it. Tychus is one of the biggest things that can counter the Double Bruiser tank, and using Raynor as your kind of hyper carry. Hogger and Zool will be able to get on and lock down that Tychus. But at the same time, knowing that, Falstad is like, dude, I got Gust. You come in that heavy, I just push you away and save my Tychus. And so I mean, coming out of the draft phase here, I'm really liking what I see coming out of Bronze6 in this first game. Like, I think their draft is solid all around. I think they have a great response to what the side of Vendetta has drafted. Again, this is why we play the game, because it can all look great on paper, and then we play the game, and it's just a completely different story. But I really think the draft composition that came out of Bronze6 was really well done. They seem to have a response to everything that Vendetta has drafted in and of themselves. The only caveat to that is if potentially May can get around the Falstad, get behind the team, and avalanche some squishy members, whether it's the Anduin, the Tychus, or the Anduin or Tychus. You're not really going to want to look for Falstad. I anticipate Falstad just picking up increased range on his E to help him, stay away from this massive engage that we see coming out of Vendetta with the Hogger and the Zool and the May. And Lucio's gonna be able to like amp everybody up to get in there and do the damage. So give a shout out. Who's going to win this one in chat? We think if Bronze 6 is going to pull this one, or Vendetta is going to come through and make us see why the double bruiser tank meta is becoming very, very popular. Yeah, we're just waiting on everybody to slow. This is a rather slow loading going on. Again, we'll blame Texas and power issues going on, but everybody is in here. We are ready to get this game underway. Let's get these teams introduced. Game one of this series. We on the side of Bronze 6, we got Danny sitting on the Varian, Mark sitting on the Tychus, Ferret 102 sitting on the Anduin, CRT sitting on the Falstad, and we got Secret 333 on the Rexar. On the side of Vendetta, we got SCH sitting on that Zool, Lusmos on that. Is it Lusmos? I think it's Lusmos on the May. Daniel San on the sorry, I wanted to say Greymane, but it's not Greymane. That's Rainer. Indigo Zap sitting on the Hogger, and we got Geo sitting on that Lucio. And we do see Bribe coming out from Falset, so it's not going to be that Q build. At least he's not going to go for the Q stacking build. He's going to, being in the four lane, he was going to go for that Bribe, going to elect to go into that Mage Stad instead, potentially, and get a little more map pressure with the camp clearing presence that he's going to be able to provide, being able to soak that up. But he's sitting in that, that bush. He knows the May is in that bush above him, but we do see just a little bit of skirmishing going down. Falstead's going to respond to the bot lane, try and get some soak for his team. Rexar already went top. Side of the side of Bronze 6, they didn't have the strongest level 1 going on, and so they wanted to go ahead and get themselves soaking this game up a little bit faster. Sorry, I forgot to change the overlay there. Hit the wrong button. Got it all figured out now. So getting back into this. Looks like the side of Vendetta, they're going to be rotating as to between those. Rexar maybe getting a little caught out here. Nice boot from the Lucio, using that wall slide to his advantage, getting first blood onto the Rexar, and that is huge because all of this minion soak is going to go to waste. Falstad is going to fly up there to try to get some of it, but he's not going to be able to provide that camp clearing pressure down here, and Vendetta smartly recognizing Falstad's out of here, go and be the aggressors on this camp, and great start coming out from Vendetta. Like I said, this is why we play the game. Good rotations, good catch from the foreman, recognizing that the Rexar did rotate down and to that mid lane, able to catch him out, and now they go start their own camp, get that experience lead going out. We already see that pretty much full level, little less than a full level, but I'm going to call it a level lead. Able to get control over this bot shrine here. May is just going to be able to be that presence on the shrine. She's going to kind of be really tough to push off. Danny sitting there, and remember the side of Vendetta, what they're doing really well. Nice block from the Hogger there to keep the variant in there, and having to use the Anduin to do the Yeet of Faith there. The one thing that Vendetta is doing well, and we have to recognize, is Varian is not a very good champion pre-level 4. Before he gets to the top, Varian is just an AI, as like I'd call it. Now that the level 4s have come online, Varian's going to be a much bigger threat. That is what they've been wanting to wait for on side of Bronze 6. Varian is now online. He will be able to provide that taunt ability to whatever target he wants. Meanwhile, Falstad, he's going to be the one that's going to be sitting in that mid lane, providing that pressure between mid and bot. Rexar will continue to be that bully up in the top lane. He shouldn't have a problem with Zool. Zool will be able to push that lane out, but Rexar will be able to taunt goes down onto Lucian, and that burst damage coming out from the Tychus. Look at that. Nice return kill coming out of Bronze 6, and that is the scary fact of a taunt Varian. If you're not ready, taunt going down. Varian going in again, able to get the bottom shrine picked up and the top shrine. Falstad sitting there. He's trying to get the shrine picked up. Denied by the Zool, and now May is going to come over, and she's going to try and get control over this. That was a pretty close play. Hogger elected to go get that camp, that bruiser camp, which is it can be pretty scary to do in the middle of a shrine phase. Thankfully, like I mentioned earlier, the early shrine isn't the most worrisome shrine in the world. So Even if they had lost it, they would have been able to burn it down pretty quickly considering all members were online. But now they're able to get down here and recapture control over the bot lane on the side of Vendetta. Tychus being in that mid lane. Falstad looked like he's rotating up here, maybe going for a little bit of a gank onto the Zool player. Rexar coming through, but Misha's not quite in position. They are here, but they have a lot of minions pushing their way. Falstad's getting in deep, won't be able to finish off the kill. Meanwhile, in the bot lane, we have 4 members from Vendetta trying to push in this bot tower, getting as much siege pressure as they can. Knowing Falstad does not have his fly, he's up in that top lane. They can get a little bit of map pressure here with their advantage. Seven's coming online now for the side of Vendetta. Taunt going down onto the Mei. She does pop the passive, becomes unstoppable. Will get herself to safety. She is very low on mana, but had just enough left to get herself out of there. Falstad now coming down to join the fight again. Rexar having to clean up a lot of these minions in the top lane. But look at this. Hogger is getting these camps, and that is something that Hogger does very, very well. He's able to get that camp clearing presence on these siege camps and able to just, you know, start getting his team ahead in the macro game, which is what we're looking for. We're looking for some of that macro play. You know, they want to try and get as much map presence as they can to get the side of Bronze 6 on their back heels so that they can't group up as 4 and get that burst target from that Tom Varian. Varian having to back because he's so low on mana. And this is more siege pressure coming out of the side of Vendetta. Falstad was picking up that camp in the top lane, or his own Merc camp in that mid lane with the bribe, and now is able to provide some of that push presence. We did see Boomerang coming out with the hammer gain. So Falstad going for some of that sustainability build. It's kind of this hybrid Falstad builds that he's going to be like a jack of all trades, master of none kind of deal. He will be able to provide that burst damage, but very getting the taunt. Mei is getting saved by the passive, eventually does go down. The dragon is picked up, so Mei sacrificing herself to ensure the first objective for her team. Good on Mei, and the dragon is going to get some presence here in the mid lane. Hopefully get both of these towers down, maybe get the healing fountain. Unfortunately, with Mei gone, that's about all this dragon is going to want to be able to get. He's already having to back out, only able to get 1 tower. Falstad getting the punt, but that is all that he is eventually going to be able to do. Everybody else just going to try and soak up the other lanes. Zool getting fairly low. Like I said, Rexar will be able to bully Zool out of this lane. Rexar has a pretty favorable matchup there. The Zool will just be able to push faster than the Rexar. So Zool's going to be pushing in. The Rexar is going to be bullying in 10s coming online already for all these teams here. Taunt going down, landing on top of the Mei. Everybody getting out of that snowfield. Varian just kind of trying to scrap here, getting anything that he can. They're trying to burn the rest of this dragon down, but the dragon is able to get the healing fountain. 5 members, all 5 members here. Nice rotation by the Zul. Misha coming in, Rexar coming in from the backside. The root goes down onto the Mei. Tychus pops the unstoppable there, and Falstad puts the gust down into the back line. Big play coming out from the Falstad. Zul getting killed. That will be Lucio going down as well. Falstad trades his life, but Raynor does get taunted out by the Varian. The root going down onto the Mei, and Mei will eventually go down here as well. That is 4 kills for the side of Bronze 6. Nice look from the Falstad getting in behind enemy lines and providing that gust right up to where Tychus was. It looks like Tychus was in a little bit of a rough spot getting into that Odin, but once he got in, he got a nice burst heal from the Anduin there, able to sustain a lot of the damage that he took, and everybody came right to his feet, and he's just like, yes, please, QW, you are now gone. And so that is 4 kills to 1 in favor of Bronze 6. They were on their back heels, but now they are looking fairly good. They got the experience lead. They're almost a full level ahead, able to pick up the camp and provide some of this pressure in the bot lane. And yeah, it's pretty much all square. A little bit of a lead coming out. You know, they did lose some tower damage and their bottom fountain here, but that's not the end of the world. They may just end up rotating and switching these 4-man and the solo laner and putting Rexar in the bot lane where he can sustain a little better, or they'll just continue to pick up their own camps and put the 4-man back in here. But all 4 members, or 3 of the 4 members, are picking up this camp, and Mei is just continuing to push in this bot lane, going to be able to provide some more pressure onto this keep. Raynor and Hogger do go pick up their own camp in response to that. And while we're having a little bit of a pause, we can see some of these other ultimates. I mean, we saw a lot. We got Odin and Lightbomb coming out from the Anduin there. Misha going for that Pack Hunter, Unleash the Bears. Falstad using the Gust to get himself away, and Anduin actually having to pop the Yeet of Faith to get Falstad out of that rough spot. We do see Lucio, like I said, he is going for that high 5, which will allow his hero to get that unstoppable for 1 second, help with that taunt variant. So as suspected, he did not go for that sound barrier, which wouldn't have as much value into the taunt variant. Mei getting taunted out here in the behind enemy lines, excuse me. High 5 being popped by Lucio already. Lightbomb going down onto the Misha, but Mei using the passive very well, timed to make sure that she does not get stunned out by the light bomb. This is a 5v4. Bronze 6 have all members up here. Hogger getting caught out, but will able to get himself away. No, he does go down to the Falstad. Nice follow up from the Falstad. Tychus May getting taunted out from the variant, and then Misha following up the stun, but May is really hard to take down. Meanwhile, in the bot lane, Zool trying to even up this experience lead as much as he can, doing the double soaking. Falstad flying down to try and get some of that experience back for his team, while Zool rotates into the mid lane. Everybody kind of going back to rotating through the lanes. Ultimately, it was a trade for Hogger's death. Hogger did die, but Zool kind of made up that experience gain with that pressure the soak he was able to get in that mid and bot lane, and so it kind of all evens out there. The Misha trying to do what she can. Zool gonna pop the root onto the Misha. Misha is one dead bear, and she will come back in a little bit of time, but that is a nice little pickup onto the Misha. Makes Rexar sad for a second. Misha will come back and will be good to go. But looking at these Falstad going with the Flow Rider allows his abilities to charge a lot faster as long as he remains out of combat, or not attacked. Excuse me, sorry. It's not out of combat, but while that passive is active, taunt going down onto the May here does pop the unstoppable light bomb going down. That is a lot of lockdown. Look at that gust and the light bomb. Nice high five coming out of the Lucio. They're making everybody unstoppable. Everybody's got to run. Zool is kind of just in up Shit's Creek without a paddle right there, and Raider trying to zone everybody off with the Hyperion. Gonna actually get some good value out of the Hyperion to make everybody kind of back off and not be able to finish everybody else off, but that was 2 kills picked up by Bronze6 there. The Falstad, both gusts coming from the Falstad are just being massive plays right now. Oh, it's 2 of the 3. The other one he had to use to kind of get himself out of a hairy situation there, but both aggressive gusts coming out of the Falstad were just huge. This should be uncontested pickup from the Rexar there. Raider tried to sacrifice his life to get that penetrating shot. He will maybe get away. Tychus should have the quarterback up, the W up the grenade to be able to finish. He did not go for quarterback. He went for that dash to give himself a little extra run dash distance to be able to follow up, and a little more burst after that is finished. And so this is a nice little pickup from Bronze6. They now have about a level and a half lead, and they are going to be able to take down most of this keep. This Dragon's down to about quarter health already. Varian trying to land the taunt onto the Zool. Zool just able to pop the bone shield and keep himself alive. Dragon just doing all he can to get this tower. The Dragon does eventually go down. The 4-man does get stunned out by Misha. Misha's in a little bit of a rough spot. May trade the bear away, and the bear goes down yet again. Light bomb going down. Taunt landing onto the Varian. Falstad just jumps right in with the Tychus there. Both of Falstad and the Varian getting put down in the back row, but May, unfortunately, you put them right into your target, right into your line of path to run away, and that will be May going down as well. This Falstad is just on top. Anytime Varian says, I'm going in, Falstad's like, I'm already there, bro. Taunt going down onto the Hogger. Nice, good unstoppable pop by the Hogger to make sure that the Endwind's root does not take any effect. But this is another 4-on-2. If they're not respecting the taunt, Varian's looking like he wants to get Rainer. Retreat ping's being pinged out. I'm guessing that's on the side of Vendetta. They're not backing up. Varian going in, does not pop the taunt onto the Hogger. Hogger just kind of knocking himself away. Zool, meanwhile, is in this mid lane trying to get as much soak as he possibly can, get his team back on that even talent here. Rexar trying to do this double soaking thing to get himself Falstad. Unfortunately, you are out of mana. It was a good attack. Ooh, he did get the ultimate out of Zool, though. So I'm going to say worth. Falstad is going to have to go back, get himself a little bit healthier in the mana pool. Meanwhile, the Zool is going to go up in that top lane. Vendetta is going to pick up their camp over here. The side of Bronze6, they're going to respond with the siege camp in the bottom and their own camp pickup, probably from the bribes from the Falstad. He's sitting on... Oh, it doesn't tell me. That's unfortunate. I can click on him and he'll tell me, but I'm not going to click on him. Might as well click on him. He's sitting on, 7 stacks. The Falstad sitting on 7 stacks of bribe already. Pretty good pickup from the Falstad there. Sorry about that. And yeah, May going in. She does land the avalanche. Does not land the avalanche. Sorry, she does not land the avalanche on anybody. Falstad rotating down. He does have positioning. He's looking like he wants to get a gust, but he does not have Rexar, so he's just gonna elect to poke with the boomerang instead of trying to get something. Varian not recognizing the Zul's there is gonna go down. Pops to protect. Light bomb going down. The gust going down as well. So a little bit of maybe miscommunication. And I know they didn't want this fight, but they're trying to make a best of a bad situation here. Falstad getting himself out of his sticky situation. He does get rooted out by the Zul. Varian goes back in, trying to taunt down the Lucio, but now the side of Vendetta is starting to run, and here comes Rexar. Does put down the pack hunter mentality, is going to push down onto this mage, try to finish off the main. Meanwhile, Taunt goes down onto the Zool in the back line. Tyke is trying to do everything he can from that Odin to pick it up. Falstad having to back, will be able to fly himself back in here in a little bit, as long as the rest of his members can sit here and continue to pick out this fight. Feign Death coming out of the Rexar in the middle of the enemy team. May trying to get as much as she can to get the Rexar. Rexar does eventually go down. Falstad is now here. The cavalry has arrived. Falstad is ready to do some damage. Jumps in over onto the Hogger, but Hogger able to get himself away. Varian running for his life. May is like at no mana, no health. Varian does go down, and the Falstad now having to run for his life as well, getting down to about quarter HP. Wow. I mean, it looked like every team was just back and forth for a while there. One team was going to win, then the next team was going to win, then the next team was going to win. Varian, Tychus, Raynor almost killing that Tychus there with a penetrating shot, but this is pretty good pickup for Vendetta. Nice moral victory there. They only lost the Zool in that entire fight. We're able to pick up 2 kills. Unfortunately, this siege minion is continuing to provide a lot of pressure in that top lane. They are able to pick up the bottom camp, so this should be a fort pickup on the side of Vendetta. Mage just has to zone everybody kind of out with the Hogger. That shouldn't be any trouble at all. Zool will respond by picking up the soak in the top lane. And now the side of Vendetta, they got a little bit of pressure, even up some of the experience. We'll start getting some passive experience from that tower pickup, and now they just got to play for 20. They're looking like they want to try to press a little bit while they wait for Varian to come back online. Maybe get a couple more structures if they can to even up that experience lead just a little bit more while Zool continues to double soak. But realistically, not much that they're going to be able to do. They have to be respectful of the Falstad engage with the flight and elect to back off there. Rexar is just going to go and try and get some of that soak, get his team to a 20, and then they're going to look for a fight. Bronze6 now has their 20s online. Let's see if they decide to go over here. The Varian's not quite with the team. They do pick up this bottom objective. Zool going to delay as long as he possibly can over this top objective. Meanwhile, the Varian does go in. He uses the charge on the tower to even up that pressure in the bot lane, and that will be a fort dead in the bot lane there. Objective is now online for the side of Bronze6. They do pick up the camp with the bribe. That is 9 stacks that the Falstad is now up to with that W, providing a 45% more damage to his lightning strikes, which is going to do some significant damage to whoever decides to get in Falstad's way. We do see the side of Vendetta, they do pick up that top objective and are able to delay as much as they can, but Varian did go in, on the bot lane, able to get the taunt onto the Hogger. Hogger using the ultimate to give himself away. Avalanche going out, but unfortunately it misses yet again from the May. May having to run now. They have no engage potential. This is going to be objective. They have nothing really to stop this objective pickup on the side of Bronze6, utilizing 2 ultimates there. So Bronze6 will get this objective. May elect to push bot, may elect to push mid. Looks like they're going to try and push mid. Zool's going to try and get their team on those even 20 talent tiers. Varian trying to ride down, maybe land a taunt, unable to do so. Lucio using the nice boop from the Q in order to prevent the Varian from being able to charge in. And 20s are now online for both sides here. We saw the continuation with the mixing 5 going in from the Lucio there. Avalanche being picked up from the May as well. Hyperion being used by the Raynor to kind of zone everybody out. The Unstoppable being popped by the May already, trying to make sure that she keeps herself healthy. Did she talent up for the reduced cooldown? I believe she did. Yes, she did. So she will get a little bit of reduced cooldown there from the Avalanche. But here comes the Dragon charging his way in, knocking back the Zool. Unstoppable popped from the Lucio there, and everybody kind of just getting themselves into a good situation. That is the Dragon Knight being destroyed there by the side of Heavy Peck. They're looking for a fight. They want to go all the way in. Hard going in. Nice, because look at this continuing. Because if they can get a light bomb on top of this, this is going to be massive. Varian goes in, lands a taunt onto the Hogger. Light bomb is not being utilized yet, and Hogger's starting to just bounce around between members. Look at him go. He's just bouncing around like Sonic Hedgehog there, and but unfortunately Hogger's go down. The Light Bomb being taunted onto the Varian. Misha does go down. The Avalanche goes down, but doesn't catch anybody yet again. Meanwhile, Hogger just ping-ponging himself around. Varian getting very low in the backline, ends up going down, and now May, nice knockback coming from the May. Everybody on Bronze6 is now looking to run. Anduin trying to do all that he can to make sure that he survives and gets his team away. Tyke is trying to provide some of that sustain. Anduin running, say, hey, follow me, come get me, guys, don't worry about me. I'm going to just try and get myself a little bit of a delay on these death timers there. Meanwhile, all 5 members from the side of the Vendetta are alive, and they are looking at this bot lane. They want to siege it up, and they want to siege it bad. Zool is trying to push the lane up to get everybody here. Rexar does jump down onto the Hogger with the Misha, and that is going to be a trade for the Hogger. Unfortunate play out of the Hogger. Dying there, and so that will be a trade kill onto Misha, which isn't as much value. Hyperion being used to try and just get some siege potential, but the rest of the team's like, no, we can't do this without Hogger now, and now are backing off. Alarnus, thank you for the subscription with the Prime. I appreciate it greatly, buddy. I'm sorry I don't have anything fancy yet to throw up there for the subscriptions, but I do appreciate it, and hope you're enjoying yourself on this night of NGS going on here. Hogger shenanigans is nice enough, but I can't really cheer for anything that doesn't use Brightwing. Brightwing is love. Brightwing is life. There we go. I'll call that out in the middle of this, just for the subscription. Uh, alone. But yes, I agree. Brightwing is love. Brightwing is life. I thought there was going to potentially be a Brightwing pickup here. Unfortunately, there was not. They elected to go with the Anduin, which makes sense with what they're going for. The Lucio High Five is a good response when you can't get the Uther into a taunt variant. So May looking like she's trying to pick out this Tychus. The Avalanche just misses yet again. Light Bomb goes down, and that is going to be a lockdown onto the May. May is just going to go. No, she's still alive. Here comes the Falstad, though. He puts the Gust down and keeps everybody in the back. Lucio trying to get himself out, but he can't. And that is going to be another kill onto the Lucio. And this is going to be Bronze6 pushing in the bot lane as fast as they can. Falstad is picking up the bottom objective, but that doesn't matter. Zul will go down. Nice stun out by the Misha there. And that is 3 kills going in favor of Bronze6. Oh, man. If the Avalanche, it just seems like these Avalanches, unfortunately, aren't hitting. And that is what's killing the side of Vendetta right now. If all these Avalanches had hit, this could have been a completely different game. But unfortunately, they're missing. So Bronze6 is either just doing a really good job at playing around the Avalanche, but this is going to be Dragon picked up with 3 members dead. Rexar should probably just go get this. The rest of the team is going to kind of hang out in this bot lane, wait for the Dragon to come on over, and this might be a push for game. It's going to take the Dragon about 15 seconds to get here, so as long as nobody dies, Lucio or Raynor getting fairly low light bomb going down, we'll lock down the Hogger. Hogger is going to go down here. Raynor goes down by the Tychus as well. Tychus being a man and just jumping in there, getting the kill, going into the siege, and this is now going to be GG. Dragon's like, yo, let me in. I need to break down this wall real quick. The core is starting to melt. Core is down to 70, 60, 50. Avalanche coming in as one last hurrah. May doing all she can, but getting gusted right back by the Falstad. And my gosh, this Falstad play was absolutely critical to the side of Bronze6. I didn't necessarily doubt the pick, but I was like, I'm curious why they went with the Falstad. We see now that was amazing. Gust, the Falstad just setting his team up time and time again, using that continual Gust at level 20 to be able to basically deny any escape from the team members. There was that one time where it looked like they could have set up a light bomb with the Gust into the wall, but the light bomb wasn't charged up or just elected not to be used. And so it just delayed the game a little bit longer. But ultimately, Bronze6 coming through with the win here in game 1. Absolutely fantastic play coming out of them. Like I said, I really liked what they brought out in the draft phase. I think they had a really good, solid game plan. I think they had a good response to the double bruiser tank comp with the Tychus. The light bomb on the it was like this back and forth. You could see it in the draft. The taunt variant getting picked out, the ban onto the Uther. So then they're like, okay, we got to go with the Lucio, but we have to go high 5 because we can't go sound barrier into a variant. And then they're like, well, we're going to go Anduin and we're going to put another light bomb on top of the variant taunt so you can get unstoppable for 1 second. But if we can chain CC on top of you or just let the variant get in deep and stun everybody, or just use the Falstad to push them onto a wall and then group them up. That's what they ended up doing. There's a couple times where Zul came down, had nice rotations, but Rexar got there fast enough that he was able to get in there and get the kill. Holy guacamole! Nexus Gaming Series just raided with a bunch of 50s. Guys, welcome to all of you who are joining in for this game. I wish I could explain what went on in that game in a short second, but I can't. It was this is week 1 division. Nexus division. Sorry, this is the Nexus division between Bronze6 and Vendetta, and that was a fantastic game 1. Bronze6 coming away with the victory. Let me update that so we can see what's going on here. We already do have map number 2 being picked up. Let me get in there and see who picked the map. I gotta get out, get you guys back over to the map screen real quick. We are going to Volskaya Foundry, so let me get over to Volskaya Foundry, get Volskaya Foundry updated real quick. Who is that picked by? So I know who has first pick coming into this series. But yeah, I mean, good strong start by Bronze6, especially in their draft. I liked how they drafted that entire series. I think they had just a better draft as long as they played it and executed it well. They were going to come out with a pretty good presence there. And it looked like the side of Bronze 6 picked the map. So the side of Vendetta, they got to pick between map pick and first pick, and they elected to go with first pick. And so Bronze 6 got to pick the map and are sending us to Volskaya Foundry. Another small map, rotations between the four-man. Now it's going to be between mid and top instead of the mid and bottom. The bottom lane is going to be the 1v1 lane for the most part. We are going to see it fighting over the objective. The objective is a little bit stronger on this map than it was on prior maps that we were seeing on Dragonshire. But yeah, I'm really excited to see what Vendetta can pull out here in game two. See if they're able to respond from that little bit of a beatdown. The thing was, I think they played it really well for the draft that they had. Like, I think they got out drafted, but they weren't out of it. They continued to battle back. They almost got that bottom keep, which would have been a massive pickup for them if they could have gotten it. Unfortunately, Hogger dying at the wall when they had that 5v3. It was critical because then they had to back off. They couldn't pick up the keep quite then, and they had to wait and regroup before they could pick up the keep a second time. And so, and ultimately they never got that keep picked up because the side of Bronze 6 could regroup, create that pressure again, and then they utilized the Falstead Gust to with the light bomb taunt variant to just that blow up that entire team in that last team fight. And it was fantastic overall coordination coming out of Bronze 6 there. Like I said, I've casted them a couple times before. I know they like to do these crazy wombo setups. They try to be like one step ahead of the opposing team at all times. You could see the way they were playing with their rotations that they were trying to do that. Looking through chat here real quick, D Nasty said all these avalanches has been with. Yeah, it was just unfortunate with the May. I mean, I feel like that. Yeah, the avalanche was just continuing to be missed time and time again. Which I mean, bad games happen. It's unfortunate that the May couldn't land any of those avalanches, but we don't take away anything from Bronze 6. They may have just positioned that well that the May really only could get in and get one target. But yeah, it seemed like that the avalanches, if they could have connected, get some 2-3 man avalanches, maybe they would have had a little bit more success with the comp that they drafted. Looks like everybody is saying that they're ready. Sorry, we're getting a lot of readies. I know we've had a lot of power issues. We had a little bit of delay from this game starting due to power issues. It's just been an unfortunate thing that's been going on this week with a lot of the drafting, but looks like everybody is now in the lobby. Captains are set up on the proper players. We do see that we are starting. We're getting into Volskaya Foundry here in a couple of seconds, and here we go. Bronze 6 versus Vendetta, game number 2 going to Volskaya Foundry. And I really, since this is, again, beginning of the week, I expect we see meta bans coming out again. Maybe we will see some of the nods going over. I mean, Rexar probably won't be picked up in the bot lane on this map. I don't know if they're going to try and ban out the variant because they didn't like the Tom variant, or if they're going to just try and prioritize getting Uther a little earlier. They do have first pick now, so maybe they're going to go and try and get some of those, like that, get the Hogger again, because the Hogger was doing fantastic work, and Hogger does well on this map as well. So maybe they're looking to go and try and get that Hogger pickup again for the team, who was one of those shining lights for the team. He just had a couple of mistakes in the late game, but we do see Chromie getting the ban again here. Chromie, one of those, like I said, one of those champions, very strong in the meta. Those sands on the objective are just absolutely terrifying to deal with. Rexar getting banned out from the side of Bronze 6. They played it last time. They had first pick and they first picked it. Maybe they just don't want Rexar being played by the opposing team. Maybe they see some value in Rexar that they don't want the other team to have, and so they're getting rid of that. And then Zul'jin get back. So same bans coming out of Vendetta. Nothing that Bronze 6 pulled out there wanted to respond to. I mean, again, this isn't necessarily the most favorable match for Falstad, but with the success that we saw in the Falstad in Dragonshire and how CRT is comfortable on that Falstad, he went with that hybrid build. He could elect to go for that hybrid build again here. There are plenty of walls to push people around, getting people, or at least delaying people off of the objective for a little bit of time to get those last few percentage points in would be huge. So we'll see if they elect to go with that. And then Medivh getting banned out again. So 3 of the 4 bans are the exact same from both teams, just the Rexar nod being the only change. And that Cassia pickup was the 4th ban in game 1, wasn't banned out here in game 2, and is first picked up by Daniel Sion on the side of Vendetta, going with the Cassia. I'm gonna grab a drink of water real quick while we wait to see what comes out on the side of Bronze 6. Sorry, that was a very action-packed first game. It just seemed like there's fighting all over the place, and so I didn't really have time to stop and take a drink. Apologize. I'm shocked my voice is still hanging on. And we see Johanna Tychus being picked up right away. So Johanna, being it, the synergy she has with Cassia is pretty strong. Electing to take that synergy away since they don't have a ban for the second pick phase. They're just electing to take the Johanna themselves and picking up the Tychus again. Since they had second pick, they're able to grab that Tychus, allow themselves to have that playmaking potential around the Tychus, putting the side of Vendetta being like, hey, maybe you don't want to go into that double bruiser tank, triple beefy front line uh, into a Tychus because Tychus had a fun day shredding that apart. And we do see Varian Whitemane being picked up. So again, this looks like it's going to be with the Whitemane. I anticipate this to be another taunt Varian going in. The Varian is going to go in, try and lock down a target, and now we have Whitemane with it instead of Anduin. Or on the flip side, they didn't like to go. I was curious if they're going to go with the Stukov instead of the Whitemane. Having that taunt Varian with a Stukov silence is pretty devastating. Varian, ability to have that shattering shield effect on the Johanna is huge. And then being able to lock down Stukov being banned out, maybe they're worried that they're potentially going to go double support on the side of Vendetta there. And, go Whitemane Stukov as a kind of a roundabout, still get locked down in Whitemane, allowing the team to be aggressive with the damage. But yeah, I was curious if they're going to go the variant Stukov since the Stukov wasn't banned like it was in game one. Wasn't Anduin getting banned out here. Don't want the Falling Sword Light Bomb combination coming out of Bronze 6. So we are going to see what CRT. I anticipate this is going to be a potential offlaner pickup and maybe the healer and leave that or to go for the healer and their second, their mage assassin and leave that off lane for a favorable matchup as the last pick. We do see Ana, so I'm anticipating a mage somewhere in here. Arthas. So they are going to go Arthas. They're going that double, really heavy front line just to deny any follow-up potential on the variant taunt. That Johanna and Arthas are going to be a very, very tough front line to go through. Cassie is going to have a difficult time getting through and providing a lot of that damage with Arthas kind of smacking it and slowing all of her movement on whatever target she's really wanting to follow up and kill. So we'll I'm curious what mage they're going to pick up. Maybe they're waiting to pick up their last mage, see what comes out. But we do see again. Oh no, we do see a Blaze. Okay, Blaze and Mephisto being picked up here as well. So going for a double and Kel'Thuzad. Wow, Kel'Thuzad being picked up here. Kel'Thuzad actually, I really like the Kel'Thuzad pick. He's got to be careful around the Mephisto, obviously, and if Mephisto lands that sneaky snacky root onto him, the Blaze is going to have a field day, and he's got to be respectful of the taunt variant. But he does have that very beefy front line of the Johanna Arthas to give him the ability to free cast behind that line. That line is going to be terrifying, and all he needs to do is just free cast onto the variant and the Blaze, get his stacks up, and then once he's able to get to 15, he could just pick any target he wants, pick a card, any card, pull him in and provide a lot of that burst damage once he gets to level 10. And oh, by the way, he's got an Ana that's going to nano boost him and be able to put out that much more damage that much faster. So I do think that Vendetta has a little bit better of a draft coming out here. They have a game plan with the lockdown from the taunt variant and the Mephisto and Cassia being able to just jump on whatever target and kind of provide that burst damage. The Whitemane's going to allow them to be a little more aggressive and stay in that aggressive pattern, so they're going to be able to push, hopefully try and push past this front line of Johanna Arthas. Johanna Arthas, they're pretty much, we'll see how good their peel game is. Watching Bronze 6, I expect it to be pretty darn good, but let's get these teams introduced. On the side of Bronze 6, we got Danny sitting on that Johanna. We got Mark sitting on the Tychus. We got Ferret 102 sitting on the Ana. We got Secret 333 on the Kel'Thuzad, and we have got CRT on the Arthas, going with the Bruiser this time. On the side of Vendetta, we got Lesmos on the Varian. We've got Geo sitting on the Whitemane. We got Indigo Zap on the Mephisto, SCH on the Blaze, and we got Daniel San on the Cassia. Kel'Thuzad is just put in Kel'Thuzad is Secret 333 special. Awesome. I love it. I have never seen him play. I've seen him play a couple matches. I've never seen him play Kel'Thuzad. So now I'm really stoked to see Secret 333 playing a Kel'Thuzad. But here we go. Kel'Thuzad's going to want to play it. He's going to want to get as many stacks as he can get going. He's kind of just hovering around in that mid lane right now, looking like he's trying to get some sort of stack, get those chains going. And that's what the side of Vendetta doesn't want. Blaze going in, trying to get some sort of fight going here. Kel'Thuzad are down very low. Varian goes in with the taunt, but unfortunately does not have the taunt. Sorry, I'm so used to calling taunt Varian. He doesn't get that to 4, so he wasn't able to land the taunt. Everybody just kind of going their own which way here. And Chains landing down onto the White Mane there. White Mane, or sorry, that was Cassia. Cassia and White Mane, they look fairly similar. Going down, Varian jumping in pretty aggressively onto the Tychus. He was very, very low. Unfortunately, nobody was near him that the Chains weren't able to connect, and the Johanna just going to walk herself out with the Iron Skin there. But yeah, I curious engaged by the Varian there. I thought that was a little aggressive, but able to get himself away. No problem at all. Gets back up to the top lane. We see Kel'Thuzad in this mid lane, and he's looking to get magical number 15 first. Once we get to 15, we can start doing some picks. Once we get to 30, those picks are gone. And we do see the side of the Vendetta picking up their own camp. Meanwhile, Bronze6, they're responding with their own camp as well. Getting these early camps is just great because that allows you to get more, for those people who are watching and want to know how to rotate on Full Sky Foundry. The quicker you can get those camps, the turret camps, the better it's going to be for your team because you can pick up more, get experience, and you can get more objectives for your team. So, those level 2 pickups are huge. Get that first wave pushed out as fast as you can. Immediately send your DPS down with the healer. Get that camp picked up, and then get back in time to be able to get the next wave. And that's exactly what both teams have shown right here. Because now these will be able to be picked up before, each team will get another turret before the first objective fight for sure, and potentially one of these teams will brawl over the health camp here in a little bit. We do see Arthas getting bullied out a little bit by the Blaze. Blaze is going to have pretty good self-sustain. Arthas electing to go for that Eternal Hunger, so he is going to be able to eventually start bullying this Blaze out. Does go for the Death Lord at level 4, electing not to necessarily go for the increased attack speed, maybe to get some more damage down. Going for more of that sustain, wanted to keep himself alive a little longer. The chains do connect, but unfortunately the wall was between them, so only Varian goes for a ride there, and Arthas is going to just kind of try to zone out. We do have the objective coming online. Both camps have about a minute left. They will be online for when the objective actually does come up. Mephisto coming over, starting the camp off on the side of Vendetta there. The health camp being started out here by Bronze6, maybe suspecting that the side of Vendetta was picking up the other camp, electing to, they got their early camp pickup. The camp's already pushing, so they knew they had a little bit of pressure, able to get the pack for themselves, and now they are getting into position to start channeling this objective. So Bronze6 coming out, being the aggressors in this situation. The good news from Vendetta, they are going to be able to clear this out, and they will have response in top lane. But here goes Kel'Thuzad, lands a change on the White Mane. White Mane able to heal through. Oh, grenade coming in from the Tychus, finishing off the White Mane. Nice pickup on the side of Bronze6. That's a huge kill for them. That is going to delay any type of defense that the side of Vendetta is going to want to do here, because they need their healer to be able to push onto this objective past that front line of Arthas and Johanna. Arthas is meanwhile just having a blast down in this bot lane, bullying this Blaze around. Nice positioning to make sure that the Blaze can't get himself away, able to provide some more of that damage. Gets the root down. Arthas is trying to get the kill, but unfortunately just not enough skills off of cooldown yet. Does not pick it up. Meanwhile, Tychus rotating back down to the mid lane. Kel'Thuzad looking like he wants to hit some chains. Does not land the chains. The thumbs up coming out. Look at the spray coming out of Daniel Sand being like, yeah, good try, buddy, but you missed. Anyway, back to the mid lane go. Arthas doing what he can to get that pick on the Varian. Varian does now have taunt now, so you have to be aware. Johanna does have the Iron Skin potential up to level 13 when Varian will be able to negate that, but taunt going down onto the Johanna. Johanna is loving where she's at right now, being able to provide that back line. Tychus doing the damage onto that Cassie. Cassie has to run, but nice stun by the Blaze and the Varian. Unfortunately, they weren't able to finish off that Tychus, and everybody has to kind of run. CRT getting very low on that Arthas. Is going to be finished off there. Kel'Thuzad getting away with just 100 HP. Ana was doing all she could to keep everybody alive, but nice win by the side of Vendetta. They were able to burn both turrets or one turret, excuse me, and the healing pack from the side of Bronze6, and were able to pick up a kill there. So nice pickup. That White Mane being able to put out so much healing and deny any type of kills that were coming out from the side of Bronze6, but they are pushing back on. Varian's the only one to be able to provide any defense here. Kel'Thuzad is ready. He does have the Glacial Shroud, pulls the Varian back, is able to land the root. Sleep goes off from the Ana. Tychus is doing everything everything he can. Variant jumping over, gets himself away. White Man healing is huge right here. Cassie getting in, providing a lot of that burst damage onto Kel'Thuzad, and he has to run. Tychus is sitting fairly low. The turret is popped in the backline for the side of Vendetta. We did see Varian have to back there, so Mephisto just trying to provide as much safe poke as he can. Blaze following in, and that is a kill being picked up by the Cassia there. White Man trying to heal up the Cassia as much as he can. Turret does get dropped by the side of Vendetta, and they are having to get themselves away. Mephisto trying to say, no, 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 don't go away, but unfortunately not able. But again, nice play by Vendetta here. Again, the White Man healing is just doing absolutely insane amounts of healing, able to keep their team pushing past that really tough front line. Overtime has started here. Arthur's doing all he can, waiting for the Johanna to come back, taunt going down onto the Arthur. Mephisto's just jumping past on the back line, burning down this Kel'Thuzad, and that was the one fear I had about the Kel'Thuzad. He gets away with literally 5 hit points. Tychus is doing all he can to keep himself in the game, doing the damage. Nice taunt from the Varian. The objective does go over. White Man was able to stay on top of it, and Arthas does go down. Kel'Thuzad literally got away with 5 hit points. I don't know how, but he did, and that is a good pickup from Vendetta here. The White Man healing, I like the change they made. I knew the Mephisto was going to be a great response to the Kel'Thuzad, being able to just kind of push past that front line and start to burn him down. It'll be even more critical when he gets that Endurance of Hate he just picked up at level 10. Now he'll be able to finish off that Kel'Thuzad when he can. Bunker being picked up by Blaze, Ball of Lightning being picked up from the Cassia, just wanting to provide as much burst damage onto multiple targets as they can. That's kind of what they're looking for right now, is just get everybody grouped up and provide a lot of damage. And this is pretty much a great pickup from the objective. This is, pretty standard what we see with the protectors nowadays. The Cassia does get caught out here by the Kel'Thuzad. The nice stun by the Blaze to make sure that the Kel'Thuzad could not finish the rest of his combo, and no follow-up was there. If they can get this turret, that is a pretty standard pickup. Unfortunately, they are not able to. Johanna trying to find something. Tens did just come online on the side of Bronze6, and we see Army of the Dead being picked up by Arthas. Blessed Shield going for the Johanna there. The Kel'Thuzad going for that Shadow Fissure to be able to just provide that massive spike damage once he gets 30 stacks. He's sitting on 26, so he's got 4 more to go, and then he'll be ready to rock and roll. Meanwhile, Arthas, he's sitting on 11 stacks of Eternal Hunger. Will continue to stack up as the game goes on. Mephisto jumping in, just trying to provide some of that damage onto the Kel'Thuzad in the back. Kel'Thuzad, taunt did land there. Balls are bouncing being spiked at the Kel'Thuzad, but unfortunately the Kel'Thuzad is able to get himself just far enough away that it did not bounce one last time onto him, and he will get himself away safely there. Meanwhile, everybody's going over on the side of Vendetta to pick up their own siege turret camp. Bronze6 is doing the same. They did pick up their camp in the top lane, so that will provide some of that pressure. We will see if Vendetta elects to go and clear that, or they go get this health camp that's being set up right here, continue to increase their experience lead as much as they can. They were behind in camps early, but what they were behind in camps, they've made up in team fighting right now. Varian getting put to sleep. Kel'Thuzad landing his entire combo onto the Varian, but look at Varian times to protect it nicely to negate a majority of that damage. Taunt going down onto the Tychus. Cassia is there, doesn't quite have his skills off a cooldown to be able to just jump in and provide the rest of the burst there. And so elected to just go with a lot of poke. Tychus getting fairly low. Blaze looking like he wants to engage, does not hit with the jet propulsion. Nice combo coming out of the Kel'Thuzad there. Unfortunately, Mephisto's able to get himself away. Bunker popped by the Blaze. Varian and Blaze both getting inside. Kel'Thuzad having to run himself away. Cassia getting fairly low. Arthas being a bully. Taunt going down onto the Arthas from the Varian. Stun going out onto the Cassia. Kel'Thuzad coming in huge here, recognizing that the Cassia came out of the bunker and was able to land the chains and gets 1 kill, 2 kills, and Blaze having to run for his life. Mephisto doing all he can to make sure that they do not have any more pushing pressure there. But man, there we go. We're seeing Secret 333. That was an excellent chain. Recognizing the Cassia had jumped out of the bunker, landing the chain onto the Cassia, connecting it with the Blaze, and providing that spike damage. Kel'Thuzad is online with 30 stacks now, and he will continue to destroy people on the Nexus if he is able to get that pick potential that we have seen out of these last couple fights. Some of them have been good. Here comes the chains. Does not like to go there. Cassia again giving the thumbs up emote. Cassia's loving this right now. I'm loving this right now. This is fun. Mephisto trying to pick up the camp, electing to forget it while the siege is in progress, trying to get some sort of damage onto the Johanna. Taunt goes down. That is going to be a dead Johanna. It doesn't matter that the chains did connect. Johanna did not have Iron Skin up, or just did not have it off of, did not pop it, I guess. Use the skill. And I watching this Johanna play, it was off cooldown. And so the Johanna does go down there, and now Varian sitting here at level 13 is going with that shattering throw. So now Johanna has to be very, very, very careful. It has to be a little more cautious about her engages positioning, because Varian could just go and taunt goes down onto the Tychus. The chains do connect. The burst damage going down onto the Cassia. Whitemane able to provide some of that top off potential, but the Mephisto goes in and he does get the kill onto the Tychus. Oh my goodness, I didn't think he would be able to get it, but he does get that final little bit of damage over time, and that Tychus does go down. Blaze, meanwhile, is just double soaking. He's like, yeah, you guys got this under control. They're not going to be pushing while they have Tychus dead, and so I'm just going to get us a little bit more soak and get us a little bit ahead. The entire team does back off. Whitemane did have to back, go get some mana, because she is just playing out of her mind with the healing right now, and we'll come back, be able to top off the rest of the team. Meanwhile, we have a gentleman's agreement. Potentially, no. Varian decides to say, no, I'm going to kill you. Lands a taunt on CRT. Army of the Dead is popped, but it will melt due to the Blaze and the Cassie AoE damage. He is just taking up as much as he can, but he's got no help. He's got nowhere to go, and that will be one dead Arthas eventually. The rest of the team on Bronze6, recognizing that Arthas is going down, they're going to go pick up a camp, maybe try to set up a play, but they got to be careful. Not all members of Vendetta did come down for this, and so they are able to pick up this camp. Nice return, but then Vendetta said, okay, you pick up our camp, we take your fort. So kind of a little bit of macro play going on by both teams here, going, you do this, then I do this, then you do this, and then I do this kind of here. But this is going to be a favorable trade for Vendetta. A fort for a camp, I'd take that any day. And that's going to provide that passive experience in the on the side of Vendetta there, and that presence in the top lane with those siege minions. So good pickup there. Mephisto electing to go back over, start channeling up this objective again, get it ready to go, and then bring it to the bot lane once it is finished channeling. Meanwhile, Bronze6, they have everybody online. They're picking up their siege camp. They're looking like they are ready to potentially go fight over this objective. They want to get on that even 16 talent tier, so Arthas is doing all he can to soak up that last remaining sweet experience. Blaze just getting himself away, getting up to this top lane is his number one priority, just to make sure that there's no fight that can break out. But the side of Vendetta, they are kind of just hanging around, waiting for a fight to break out. Again, Johanna has to be a little bit respectful of the engage there. Arthur is trying to protect, but the Protector does get picked up there. Oh, nice chains onto the Cassie, gets pulled back. The Protector is just being pinged repeatedly by the side of Whitemane. Whitemane getting down. She's trying to channel to get herself safety. Does walk onto the Kel'Thuzad ultimate, and that is going to be a dead Whitemane. Varian going to get pulled by the chains as well over to the Protector, using the Protector as the one of the champions, and that is going to be 3 kills. Blaze goes down as well. Chains does connect onto the Cassia. Secret is doing work on this Kel'Thuzad. Mephisto, look at the damage Mephisto and Cassia put out before Cassia went down there. That's some serious damage, but that is ultimately 4 kills for naught in favor of the side of Bronze6. This Kel'Thuzad playing pretty darn well right now. I mean, he had a couple of misfires early in the game, but now he is just firing on all cylinders. The chains does land. He does not have the Glacial Shroud up to be able to pull the Mephisto in, and so that is Mephisto getting himself away, but a turn in fort for fort in the top lane. It's all even up there, but the experience lead now in favor of the side of Bronze6. Danny going down with the squad to go try and pick up as much as they can in this mid lane. Tychus going to lay down some of that siege, but they have to be careful. All 5 members are alive here. Varian coming in. Mephisto is going to get pulled back. That's top of Blaze pop, but does not matter. That is one dead Kel'Thuzad. Varian going in. Does land the taunt into the Johanna, trying to pull her back. The tower getting some shots, but it doesn't matter. They don't have the damage from the Mephisto. You know, being able to get those isolated picks out of the Kel'Thuzad is coming out huge. Everything was pretty much popped to save that Mephisto's life, and he still just died. He melted. He was gone. And that is going to be another tower picked up by the side of Bronze6 going down. Now they're starting to get into their groove. A little shaky in the early game, starting to figure things out, get their team rotating together, and they're now in the driver's seat of this game. 2 forts to 1, 9 kills to 6, and they are pushing in this bot lane. Vendetta, they're doing all they can to try and get themselves back into this game, get this experience. The joke is always made that I hear that Volskaya always comes down to level 20 versus level 18. One team's level 20 and fighting over the Protector. The other team's level 18 trying to get the soak and get, caught up. And we're not there yet, but we might be pretty darn close. It doesn't mean the game's going to end and the 18 team's going to lose. I've seen this I've seen comebacks galore on this map. Nice chains by the Kel'Thuzad to get both the Cassia and the Blaze. Unfortunately, he doesn't need to stack anymore, so it's kind of just yeah, I can still do this kind of thing. And Varian trying to go in, get the taunt of the Johanna, maybe forcing a little bit too much there. White Mane able to top him off, and Johanna just able to walk herself away. Doesn't pop the Iron Skin, so the Shattering Throw doesn't need to be used by the Varian. Kel'Thuzad picking up this siege camp over. Nope, electing to go back off because Varian trying to go in on Johanna again. The chains do connect. The ultimate, the combo goes down. Varian protects himself through a good chunk of that. Meanwhile, Arthas is in the back lane trying to bully this Mephisto. Mephisto's stuck between an Arthas and a Johanna. Not a great spot for a Mephisto, but he does pick up the kill onto the Johanna and gets himself away from the Arthas. He's like, see ya, I'm out of here. Arthas trying to do all he can. Does get the return kill on the way, man. That's a huge pickup there. Cassia trying to get the kill, but unfortunately ran right over to the turret, took them turret shots. The Mephisto coming out, pulling down some huge damage there. Pickups another kill on the kill side. Taunt goes down onto the Arthas. He has no sustain now. Army of the Dead already popped. Ana is all he's got. Varian just trying to be that line, and he does pick up the camp as well. So a nice response coming out of Vendetta here. I think it was ultimately a 2-for-2 trade. Kel'Thuzad did have the I don't know how to say it, phylactery. I'm guessing phylactery, the level 4 passive where he was able to get himself back alive when he gets 12 globes. And so he was able to pop that, get himself back to the fight just in case the fight continued for a longer period of time. The side of Vendetta recognized the Kel'Thuzad coming back up because everybody gets to know. And so they just kind of backed off and said, we don't want to die to the Kel'Thuzad. We're just going to, take our 2 kills as a win and go back to getting on even 20 talent tiers. And here comes Objective C getting itself online in the bot lane in 15 seconds. 20 is not quite online. The side, Lumos Lesbos wants to be very careful here. He does not want to provide any pick. He is the Variant. He will be able to pop that parry and be able to get himself healed up. He does pop the taunt. Again, we don't want to see a fight coming out of Vendetta. They want to back themselves off, and they are. They want to get those level 20s online. This camp is pushing the top lane. That'd be a nice place to go pick up some of that experience. They are going to lose this camp in the bot lane to Bronze6 here. Another turret going in favor of Bronze6, but Vendetta's playing really well. They do have the healing pack on the Varian. That's going to be huge for this Varian and Blaze when they go to engage. The White Man has done a fantastic job at keeping them alive, but if they're able to provide even more healing on top of themselves, that's just going to give Mephisto that much more time and Cassia that much more time because Cassia ultimately wants to jump in with them as well. And so that's going to give him more time to, be able to provide that damage and have a little more sustain in some of these team fights here. So 20s are online for both teams here. Mephisto going for that Mimic, wants to have multiple shades around, maybe because the Arthas in the backline wants to be able to get, go up to that front line, pop it down there, and then jump to the back line to damage both the front line and the back line for the Mephisto. And Blaze going with that bunker. So now we're going to see a lot of fire coming out with oil in that fortified bunker. Looks like Bronze 6, they're setting up a little aggressively, like they want to potentially pinch the side of Vendetta. Vendetta is not biting. They're not trying to run. They're like, hey, we want to go toe for toe too. So we'll see. This is a pretty big team fight right here. This could be a game deciding team fight. Vendetta, if they're able to get this 5-man ace, they could potentially look to win here. But Lesbo's getting very low on the Variant. Blaze does go in. Variant doesn't have yet to pop the passive. He does pop the healing fountain already. Unstoppable being popped by the White Man in the back. Arthas just in that back lane, bullying him around, but that healing is coming out huge. Variant does eventually pop the protection, does go down. Johanna just following up, lands right onto the White Man, but Cassia is able to get that kill. Mephisto doing all he can to provide a lot of damage. Kel'Thuzad did get zoned off. Ana sitting fairly low. Mephisto keeping his eye out for the Ana. Doesn't able to pop it there. Tries to jump over to get the Ana, but he can't, and that is 4 kills. Cassia has to run, keep herself alive, maybe give their team a little bit of a fighting chance when everybody comes online for this protector. But nice overall fight coming out of Bronze6 there. The Arthas, again, being that bully, just running into that backline, getting to that White Man, getting to that Mephisto, and being like, get out of here. I want to be that bully that Arthas is, and able to just provide so much zoning potential. This front line is huge coming out of the side of Bronze6, and that allows Kel'Thuzad to have a little bit more time to just free cast and get some of those skills down as much as he can. Otherwise, this Kel'Thuzad would be having a really tough time. They are setting themselves up Bronze6 to get this keep. Cassia really can't do much except poke it away. She has to be respectful of the Kel'Thuzad chains. If if that sleep dart had hit, that would have been a dead Cassia and a really terrifying stagger. Protector is picked up here. Arthas walking it up. Johanna will be there. They will probably just wait for Johanna to get here, kind of chill back here, do a little bit of a dance, have a campfire. The side of Bronze 6, they, or Vendetta, they want to fight. They want to get in there. Looks like the Protector is kind of starting to make his way forward a little bit without Johanna being there. So any kind of damage that Vendetta can do. Okay, now the Protector is backing off, saying, okay, let's wait. Johanna's coming. We're waiting for Johanna to get in here. Eventually the Protector is here. Mephisto trying to do all she can. Taunt. Oh, double sleep dart coming out of the Ana. The Blaze gets pushed back. Varian goes and lands a taunt onto the Ana. That's the target that they wanted. Cassie jumping in. Ana is gone. Whitemane trying to run away. Tychus is there. Protector is just doing all he can. The Kel'Thuzad is in the Protector. The Protector is just pushing past. He's going to go try and end the game. Blaze putting down the bunker, trying to zone off. Meanwhile, everybody's got to go chase that Protector. They got to get everybody out of this Protector. This Protector has got both the weapon and the pilot. It is going to do a lot of damage. Cassie has got to get back here to help with the Protector. Shield core is at 84%. They're just not burning through it fast enough. 64. Tychus is here now. The Protector is getting it down to 39. That is a kill onto the Johanna. 36%, 30%. Tychus is right in the middle. Mephisto doing all can, but looks like it was enough. GG's coming out, and Bronze6 coming away with the 2-0 victory here in game number 2. Wow, that was an awesome way to start off the season for me casting. I'm sorry, I completely forgot to put it on the game. I was so excited for this entire game. I forgot to put onto the right channel or the right scene there to make sure you guys had the stats coming up. But here are the stats. Bronze6 just doing, playing a really good, well-rounded game. The game one, I really like their draft. It's one I'm hoping to get an interview on. I'm going to talk about their draft with them a little bit because I felt like they just had a really good response to everything that Vendetta pulled out in the draft. And then game two, it looked like Vendetta was in the driver's seat for a lot of that game. They were winning a lot of these team fights. Something wasn't just clicking quite right. I don't know if it was the Arthas wasn't able to be enough of a bully, but that one fight around the healing fountain when Arthas was able to get himself around the backside, that's where I think it started to turn around a little bit for them. And they started to get back into their groove and started kicking it into the next gear, and eventually we're able to win. I got some stats started up for you guys real quick. I mean, we could talk about these stats all day long. I'm talking with the captain of Bronze6, trying to get him into the interview room real quick. See if we can get something going here. Oh, you can't. Let's go lobby. Let's go lobby 2. See if I can get him in here real quick. There he is. Hello. Good. How you doing? I was gonna say, it's like, man, every time I've gotten to cast you guys, you're going up against heavy impact, and you guys are fighting to tooth and nail. But unfortunately, they're a tough team. But I had faith. I was like, yeah, they are just a really good team. Watching a lot of what they're putting together, but man, watching your guys' game, I'm like, coming to this, I know nothing about Vendetta, but I've watched you guys a couple times, and I was like, man, watching them play Heavy Impact, Heavy Impact's really good, but they punch back, they go for blow for Heavy Impact, so maybe they're going to be able to pull this one out. And man, did you guys deliver! Congratulations again on the win. That was an exciting game of exciting 2 games of HOTS. I want to go over first off the draft in game 1. I called it that. I think you guys always had a response for what they were bringing to the draft. It seemed like you guys just had a very well constructed draft. Talk to me a little bit just about what you guys saw. You don't have to give like strats or anything, but what you guys saw and how you kind of did that draft in game 1 to give yourself that advantage in that game 1. Oh, hold on 1 second. I'm getting people saying they can't hear you. I've had this issue with Discord before. I don't know if it's a channel. Let me see if I can fix that real quick. Hang on a second, guys. I'm gonna try and get this kind of figured out right now. I can hear you. Yeah, we're having a great conversation over here, but everybody else watching, there's quite a few people that were. Go ahead and talk for me real quick.
Check 1, 2. Is
All right, good.
that good?
It's coming through
All right,
loud and clear now.
nice.
Perfect.
Yeah,
I'm
sorry.
getting comments. I'm interviewing a ghost. Yeah, I'm talking to my wall, everyone. All right, so let me re-ask
uh,
the question real quick. So, just tell me a little bit about what was going on in that initial draft
Draft
phase
phase.
that
Yeah.
from game one.
So SCH, who looks to be, from my what I can tell, is their offlane, plays a really good Rexar, and we also have a player named Secret that plays a really good Rexar. So we left Rexar open on purpose because we had first pick. And
Yep.
we ran a 1-3-1 with the Falstad, just with the Varian, Anduin, and Tychus trying to cause as much havoc as possible.
Right.
But we were trying to out macro them. They're a very aggressive team,
Yes.
like very very aggressive team. But with our taunts and with Tychus, bigger they are, I thought we had the advantage just by the fact that we had Secret top lane to be able to hold the point as long as he could. That
Right.
was the draft. Yeah, I mean, we did our homework on the draft for game one, definitely.
Yeah, I mean, I was curious. I knew, talking about that Rexar may be a potential pickup for either team coming into this game. Didn't expect it necessarily come right out of the bat, but now that you're talking about both teams have a pretty good Rexar player, it makes sense why Rexar was that contested, first pick there. But then we could see like the taunt variant coming out. You had to pick it up in that second group. Curious, is variant Anduin something you practice a lot? I know variant Stukov is usually the combo that everybody likes to run around with. It's the ultimate combo. You like to go variant Tychus instead of variant Stukov. Was it in response to the fact that they picked up I think it was May and Hogger first picks for them that you're like, okay, we got to get Tychus before they ban it? Or was it like,
Uh,
we don't need Stukov, we want to go something else?
yeah, we picked up they picked up I believe May and Hogger, so we wanted the Tychus for just point and click damage. We were actually going to go Stukov, but they banned it in the third round.
Yeah. Which
So
yeah,
yeah,
I was figuring they were that's why I was watching this back and forth, and I was like, yeah, I mean, like Stukov, it made sense that Stukov was the one that you want, but since they picked those two picks, I was like, I could see why the Tychus was a priority pick, because if you went Stukov instead of Tychus, they would have just banned Tychus potentially, and then
yeah,
now
yeah,
you've lost your tank shredder when they're showing two tanks. So, but and then the Falstad pick. I mean, it's not every day you see Falstad on Dragonshire. He does have playmaking potential there, but it's not necessarily like, oh, we're going Dragonshire. We
yeah,
got to pick Falstad. But we did go see the Falstad, and I tell you what, was it CRT playing the Falstad? I think it was CRT playing
yeah,
Falstad. My
yeah.
goodness, what a game!
He's got some clutch. He had some clutch Gus, and I think he had two or three really good Gus that secured us a couple team wipes. But no, CRT plays a really good false dad. He's a one trick false dad. No, he's not a one trick.
I was gonna
But
say he played Arthas, so
he played Arthas, yeah. But yeah, with the false dad, really secured us just to get good engages.
okay. And so transitioning in game two, you guys. I mean, I consider game one pretty decisive victory coming out for you guys. You guys played that draft phase well, the game execution well. Game two came out. You guys picked Volskaya. Was that always the go to plan? Like, hey, we're gonna take him to Volskaya. Was there a reason or was there like a potential like, hey, we did our homework and maybe they're not as good on Volskaya, or is it just like we love
Uh,
Volskaya?
we're we're undefeated in NGS in Volskaya.
Well, there you go.
We haven't we haven't dropped a map in Volskaya, so it's a very comfort pick for
I was
us.
gonna say I got to knock on some wood. Still keeping that
Yeah,
record going, but
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um, and so then you go to full sky. They get first pick. They go with the first pick Cassia, which was banned in game one, electing to ban the Rexar game two instead of the Cassia. Once you saw that they elect first pick Cassia, which was the ban, what was your guys' strategy melding around? Okay, how do we got to approach this draft in game two?
I think Cassia and Sylvanas are sort of like the Swiss Army knives of heroes, right? So
Hmm.
you can slot that hero into any comp. But really didn't draft around Cassia. We knew that they had a good Cassia player. What changed was when they got their second, third pick, they went white main,
Hmm.
and I believe
Varian.
Variant, yeah.
Yeah, they took the
And
top Varian.
I asked Ferret, who's our healer, I said, okay, what do we have to fight white main? He goes, oh, watch this. I have Anna, which will negate the healing that
Hmm.
she's going to do. Um, and we got really great value out of that. But yeah, the Cassia pick was strong. But I think we got our 5 head on when we picked the Ana against into the white main.
Mhm. And so
Yeah.
the game played out. I like the front line that you guys had. They got the Mephisto to kind of bypass that front line a little bit, give a little more. I was told in chat that Secret is like a Kel'Thuzad fiend, a Kel'Thuzad god. And
Yeah.
I mean, he was landing some clutch chains there, but the draft comes out. Game gets a little rocky in the mid game. It looked like the side of Vendetta was starting to get a little bit of momentum, kind of pushing through, getting some clutch picks with the variant, or just some of these really, really long fights. Whiteman was able to get some of the healing down to keep his team just barely alive. It felt like Kel'Thuzad got away with like 5 HP like 3 different times. What kind of went through the team comms? How did you guys, you lost the top protector. I think that was like the clutch play was that second protector where they got the protector. It came down. Nobody was dead yet, and then you guys are like, let's just fight. Let's just go and fight instead of backing off and defending the protector, not allowing anybody to get
Yes.
in.
Yeah, Secret threw down his ult on the protector, and I think it took out the white main.
Yeah.
And I we had the, Varian trying to get in, and we blew him up before he can get in. Then we blew up the white main before she can get in, and I think, at that point, we killed 2 more, and then the
Mhm.
Mephisto got away. But, yeah, we were we were really happy that we protected the protector from them getting in, and actually took the top and mid for it, and got some great value with the items. But I think we go into that fight with 2 turrets and a healing ward. So, the items beat the protector every time.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Like item advantage, and I was trying to talk through that for the people who are watching may not be as familiar with seeing this great rotation, great camp pickups from the higher division teams. Getting your timings down and all that stuff to make sure you have item advantage and stuff like that. So it was good to see you guys, the picking up the camp priorities and all that. Um, yeah, so I mean, great 2-0 victory. Tell me, this is the week 1 of the season. You guys coming out with a domination in the first week here. Is there any other, you know the pool that you're playing against? Any teams that you're looking to get a little bit of revenge or just really excited to go up against in your division right now?
There are a lot of new teams that we don't know. Like we don't know who Vendetta was. We really haven't played any of these players in Storm League. We've had a really good division. Like Caffeinated Knights has always been really good. Gilly
Mhm.
Sharks are a perennial team. Um, we're just a B tier team trying to make it an NGS against all these big boys.
I mean, this
But
is
no,
this is a good way to start off that season when you guys come out with
yeah,
a pretty decisive victory there.
I think Nexus division is going to be a very competitive division with the teams that are in it.
Yeah,
There's no sleepers.
exactly. I was really when I saw the teams that came out in both the Nexus and the Heroic division. I'm like, oh man, I want to grab as many of these game teams as I can because these are going to be some great matches going back and forth between a lot of these teams. Like I know a couple of these teams. I knew you guys from a couple other casting experiences, and I know a couple of the teams from just other leagues that have been played. Been watching them, so I'm excited for what's going to come out of this season. So. Real quick before I go, any shout outs you'd like to give to the chat? Looked like you guys had a couple fans in the Twitch chat.
Yeah, we wanna thank, Secret's our sub this season.
Oh, that's right.
Uh,
You guys
Ki
had to play with the sub.
yeah, Kira, who is our main damage dealer, he lives in Texas, and, apparently, they have a storm going on down there.
You wouldn't know
So
it.
he's without power. I got a message like 30 minutes before match time that, he has no power. But shout outs to him. Uh, Definitely thank Secret for staying up late. He's in the East Coast. It's
Yeah.
almost midnight there.
Oh my.
Um, and we, appreciate you taking the time to cast our match.
Yeah, absolutely. My pleasure. I love this. This is more fun for me sometimes than playing. Like this match was great. Real quick, I was gonna ask one more question. Who do you think your MVP for the series tonight?
Oh, geez.
Got to pick one because NGS likes you guys to call out your MVPs.
I got to give it to Secret for being the MVP for showing up
Yeah,
because without him, we wouldn't have played.
I mean that Kel'Thuzad game was fantastic to watch.
He had some nasty hooks, right?
He
Or is
did.
it
He was
those
landing some
chains?
serious chains. Like there was, I think at one time he chained somebody to the protector, and I was like, that was awesome. Or either that, or he put
Yeah.
his glacial shot like right under the protector. I just didn't see it, but I was like, that was great play.
Yeah.
But
Awesome.
awesome. Well, Danny, thank you so much for the interview. Congratulations on your week one win. I look forward to you guys continuing to bounce around and smack around a couple teams here in the heroic division. See some more great games coming out of you guys. But thanks again, congratulations, and I'll see you around.
Hey, thank you.
Thank you. All right. Sorry for the audio. Like I said, it's week one. There's gonna be a couple issues. I apologize. Thank you for those who shouted out in Twitch chat that their that the sound was not coming through, because that is rather unfortunate when you can't hear, and then nobody confirmed whether they could actually hear or not. So I'm guessing no news is good news in that realm. So yeah, congratulations again, Bronze 6. That was awesome series. Thanks for all the raids. Thanks for the subs for everybody and the follows. I mean, you guys are awesome. I cast as much as I possibly can when my team isn't playing, and when I have a little bit of free time. Like I say, for those who joined halfway through, I usually cast the later games. Due to the fact that I'm on the West Coast and I have a kid, so I can't cast when the kid's awake. Otherwise, you're gonna hear a screaming kid in the background. So when he goes to bed, that's when I get down and I get to do some of my casting. And I'm trying to get as many NGS games in this season as possible, going all over the divisions. I signed up for. It was Kyrex versus Kyrex Tempest versus Las Popochas team on Monday. They got postponed to Tuesday because of power, and then Tuesday they had power issues again. Texas is just a mess right now, so they postponed it to next week. But I will still get in on that game when it comes next week. That's going to be a fun one between two Storm Division or not Storm Division, Heroic Division teams. But that is pretty it for me. I'm just scrolling through chat real quick, making sure that I didn't miss any questions or anything like that. Just no, most of the audio things. I'm gonna quick check real quick, because we can't ever get enough HOTS action. There's a couple more matches still going on. Let's see. We got a. Oh, I just got pinged one. Um, Soak Every Lane versus Cat Daddies. Looks like they're in game number 2, and that's gonna be that's gonna be on Bankai stream. I'm gonna send this over to Bankai. We're gonna do a raid over on Bankai stream. Thanks again for watching, everybody. This has been IceX. Have a fantastic evening. Let's get over. Make sure I always spell his name wrong, and I raid like some random person. Make sure you give a shout out to Bankai when you get in there. He does a lot for the community. He's deserves a lot of follows, a lot of recognition. And take care, all. Have a fantastic evening. I'll see you over on the Bankai stream. Have a good night, everyone. Take care.